A millionaire catches his maid in a shocking act. His next move will leave you stunned. Watch now. Caleb's cries filled the nursery like an alarm no one could silence. His tiny hands clutched at Irene's blouse as she rocked him, her voice low and steady. She didn't hear Victor Marston's footsteps until the nursery door slammed open. "What do you think you're doing?" His voice was sharp, cold, and close enough to make her heart jolt. She looked up, startled, but before she could speak, his palm struck her cheek. The sound echoed in the small room. Caleb's wail rose even higher. It had started months earlier, when Irene Lawson stepped off the bus in Brook Hollow, clutching a worn leather bag and a letter of employment. She had nowhere else to go. Her husband had been gone for almost a year, taken by an accident no one in her hometown wanted to talk about anymore. She'd left behind a cramped apartment, unpaid bills, and the constant hum of pity in neighbors' voices. The Marston job had sounded simple: live-in caretaker for the youngest family member, Caleb, a 3-year-old prone to sudden fevers. The offer came directly from Agatha Marston, the family's elderly matriarch, who had met Irene during a church charity drive. Agatha had been precise in her offer: a good room, meals, and steady pay. But her eyes had studied Irene in a way that felt less like kindness and more like calculation. The estate itself was impossible to miss. 3 floors of stone and would set back from the road, with tall gates and hedges that seemed to guard more than just the lawn. Inside, everything smelled faintly of polished oak and something older, like paper that had sat too long in the dark. Victor Marston, Agatha's son, met her only once before she started. The handshake was quick, his eyes never softened, and his voice carried the weight of someone used to being obeyed. "My mother trusts you," he said. "Don't make her regret it." Her work began quietly. Mornings with Caleb were easy enough: reading picture books, coaxing him to eat, keeping him from climbing furniture. But the boy tired quickly, and the fevers came without warning. On those days, she would sit beside his bed, wiping his forehead and whispering stories from her own childhood. Agatha visited often, watching with a smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "He's calmer with you," she said one afternoon, almost to herself. "Like someone he's known before." At first, Irene ignored the comment. She'd learned not to pry into the words of wealthy people. They often hid meanings that could cost you your job. Still, there were moments she couldn't ignore: the way Victor avoided Caleb's gaze during dinner, the quiet arguments behind closed doors, and the locked room at the end of the west hallway, one she'd never seen anyone enter. The night before the nursery incident, Caleb had refused to eat anything at all. His small body trembled, as if his fever had taken hold fast. Irene had tried broth, juice, even spoonfuls of pudding. Nothing worked. His eyes, glassy and wet, stayed fixed on her face, and in a moment of desperate instinct, she'd done what she once did for her own son when he was too weak to take food. She didn't think Victor would walk in. She didn't think anyone would see. But now, with her cheeks still burning and Caleb pressed against her, she realized she'd stepped into something bigger than a misunderstanding. Agatha appeared in the doorway, her cane tapping once on the hardwood. Her eyes swept over the scene: Victor's stiff posture, Irene's flushed cheek, the sobbing child. "What happened?" Agatha's voice was calm but edged. Irene's own voice shook as she explained. Caleb had been sick all morning. He wouldn't eat. She'd only wanted to calm him, to help him. Victor's jaw tightened. "That's not enough. If you can't see what she's done for your boy, you're as blind as I thought," Agatha interrupted, her gaze locking on her son. The silence that followed was thick enough to hold in her chest. Victor stepped back, his glare still on Irene, but he said nothing more. That night, in her narrow servants' quarters, Irene sat on the edge of her bed, the day's events looping in her mind. Caleb had finally fallen asleep, but his tiny hand had gripped hers until she left the room. She knew one thing with certainty: Agatha's defense had not been casual, it had been deliberate. And in the way the old woman had looked at her, there was something Irene couldn't name yet, something that felt less like gratitude and more like recognition. The nursery grew quiet, Irene's dark skin still warm from the slap, her hands soothing Caleb as his cries softened. Shaken. "I only wanted to help," she whispered, her voice trembling, the room dim with shadows. Victor's cold stare lingered in her mind, his anger sharp, the silence heavy, her cheek throbbing, the moment fragile, a storm brewing inside. The wooden crib creaked under Caleb's weight, the air thick with tension, a distant clock ticking. Uneasy. "What now?" she murmured, her tone low, the locked room's mystery tugging at her, the silence pressing, her heart racing, the job she loved at risk, the night stretching long. Agatha lingered by the door, her cane steady, her eyes fixed on Irene with a look that held secrets. "Curious. You've got a gift with him," she said, her voice soft, the hardwood gleaming. Irene's dark skin prickled, her hands still on Caleb, the glance hidden with meaning, the room warm, her past stirring, a connection forming quiet. The old woman's smile faded, her gaze shifting to Victor's retreating back, the tension easing slightly. "Thoughtful. We'll talk later," she added, her tone gentle, the cane tapping once more. Irene nodded, her dark skin calm, the glance lingering, the mystery deepening, her role unclear, a bond hinted at in the shadows. Irene lay awake in her small room, her dark skin damp with sweat, the night pressing in as fear took hold. Anxious. "Will they send me away?" she whispered, her voice low, the bed creaking under her. Victor's harsh words echoed, his slap fresh, the fear growing, the walls close, her husband's memory haunting, the job slipping. Footsteps sounded outside, heavy and slow, the estate silent otherwise. Nervous. "Who's there?" she murmured, her tone shaky, the window dark, the fear sharpening, the locked room calling, her breath quick, the future uncertain, the night thick with dread. Caleb stirred in the morning, his tiny hand reaching for Irene, a flicker of hope breaking through. "Gentle. You're okay," she said, her voice soft, the sunlight weak. Her dark skin warmed, his fever easing, the hope flickering, the nursery brightening, her care rewarded, a smile forming, the bond growing. Agatha appeared, her cane tapping, her face softer than before. "Kind." "He needs you," she said, her tone warm, the room filling with light. Irene nodded, her dark skin glowing, the hope steadying, the fear fading, the mystery still there, her place secure for now, the day promising calm. Caleb slept peacefully in the nursery, his tiny hand relaxed, while Irene's dark skin bore the mark of the morning's tension. Agatha's words echoed, hinting at something deeper as the estate settled into an uneasy calm. Irene stood by Caleb's crib, her dark skin warm as she adjusted his blanket, a truth creeping into her thoughts. "Curious. Why does he feel so familiar?" she whispered, her voice low, the room quiet. Agatha's glance from the doorway flashed back, her words about Caleb's calm stirring, the truth surfacing slow, the air still, her past nudging, a connection unclear. The locked room's shadow loomed in her mind, its silence heavy, a clue hidden within. "Thoughtful. What's behind it?" she murmured, her tone soft, the estate secrets pressing, the truth emerging faint, her heart quickening, the mystery growing, the days stretching with questions. Victor entered the kitchen, his face hard, his voice cutting as he faced Irene. Stern. "You overstepped," he said, his tone cold, the table bare between them. Her dark skin tightened, her hands still, the support wavering under his glare, the room tense, her cheeks sting returning, the job trembling, the morning's peace fading. Agatha appeared, her cane tapping, her eyes narrowing at Victor. "Firm." "She's done no harm," she said, her voice steady, the tension holding. Irene's dark skin eased slightly, the support unsteady but present, the kitchen warm, her role shaky, the family divide widening, the moment fragile with conflict. The dining room grew loud, Victor's voice rising as he argued with Agatha, tension filling the air. Angry. "She has no right," he shouted, his tone sharp, the chandelier glinting. Irene's dark skin paled, her hands clenched, the tension rising fast, the table shaking, Caleb's cries distant, the estate buzzing, the situation teetering. Reporters gathered outside, their cameras flashing, Irene's dark skin cold at the window. Nervous. "They'll twist this," she murmured, her voice low, the headlines looming, the tension mounting, Victor's anger close, the support weakening, the locked room's secret nagging, the night thick with strain. Irene sat in her small room, her dark skin shadowed by the lamp, doubt creeping as she replayed the day. "Unsure. Did I do wrong?" she whispered, her voice quiet, the bed creaking. Victor's slap lingered, his words harsh, the doubt growing, the walls close, her past weighing, the job at risk, the night deep. A soft knock sounded, Agatha's silhouette faint, her presence a question. Hesitant. "We need to talk," she said, her tone low, the door ajar. Irene's dark skin tensed, the doubt holding, the mystery pulling, her heart unsteady, the support uncertain, the future hazy, the moment charged with unease. Agatha's knock lingered in Irene's mind, her dark skin tingling with the promise of a talk as the estate grew still. The weight of the day pressed on, hinting at a turning point ahead. Irene paced her small room, her dark skin tight under the dim light, her mind wrestling with a choice as the night deepened. "Unsure. Should I stay or go?" she whispered, her voice low, the bed creaking beneath. Agatha's words about Caleb's calm echoed, Victor's anger looming, the decision nearing, the room quiet, her scars aching, the future hazy. The window framed the estate's shadows, the locked room's silence calling, a step required. Thoughtful. "What's best for him?" she murmured, her tone soft, the choice pressing, the past's pain clashing with hope, her heart torn, the job at stake, the night thick with thought. A gentle tap broke the quiet. A housemaid entered, her dark skin warm as she handed Irene a note, help stepping in. "Kind. Agatha sent this," she said, her voice gentle, the paper folded tight. Irene's dark skin eased, her hands steadying, the help arriving like a lifeline, the room brightening, the note's words lifting, the tension softening. Nick, a gardener, joined them, his face kind, his voice steady. Reassuring. "You're not alone," he said, his tone soft, standing near. The housemaid nodded, the help growing strong, Irene's resolve firming, the room warming, a shield against doubt forming, the estate's walls steadying. Caleb smiled weakly in the nursery, his tiny hand in Irene's, hope flickering brighter. "Gentle. You're getting better," she said, her voice soft, the morning light weak. Her dark skin glowed, his fever fading, the hope strengthening, the room filling with calm, her care rewarded, a bond deepening, the day promising peace. Agatha visited, her cane tapping, her eyes softer than before. "Warm. He thrives with you," she said, her tone gentle, the air light. Irene nodded, her dark skin radiant, the hope growing steady, the fear receding, the mystery still present, her place clearer, the future opening with trust. Irene sat with a note, her dark skin calm under the lamp, a hint of clarity emerging as she read. "Curious. It mentions my past," she said, her voice low, the paper trembling. Agatha's handwriting spoke of a lost child, a link to Caleb, the clarity beginning, the room still, her heart racing, the truth nearing. The locked room's shadow shifted in her mind, a key hinted at in the note, a path forward. Determined. "I'll understand this," she murmured, her tone firm, the clarity growing, the past aligning, her role shifting, the estate's secrets unraveling, the night clear with purpose. Irene clutched the note, her dark skin steady as the key's hint lingered, the estate humming with the promise of answers. Caleb's soft breaths filled the nursery, signaling a new chapter unfolding. Irene approached the locked room, her dark skin prickling as she turned the key from the note, a revelation breaking open. Nervous. "What's inside?" she whispered, her voice low, the door creaking. Old photos spilled out, a child resembling Caleb, the revelation unfolding, the air dusty, her heart pounding, the past rushing in, the truth nearing. Agatha joined her cane tapping, her eyes wet with memory. "Gentle. "That's your son," she said, her tone soft, the pictures trembling. Irene's dark skin paled, the revelation hitting hard, the room silent, her lost child linked to Caleb, the mystery clearing, the bond confirmed, the moment overwhelming. Victor stormed in, his face tight, his voice cutting as he saw the open room. Angry. "You had no right," he shouted, his tone sharp, the photos scattering. Irene's dark skin tensed, her hand shaking, the challenges mounting fast, the room tense, Caleb's cries distant, the estate buzzing, the situation teetering. Reporters swarmed outside, their cameras flashing, Irene's dark skin cold at the window. Worried. "They'll ruin us," she murmured, her voice low, the headlines looming, the challenges growing, Victor's rage close, the revelation at risk, the locked room's secret exposed, the night thick with pressure. Irene faced Victor, her dark skin bold under the light, her voice steady despite the chaos. Confident. "Caleb is mine," she said, her tone firm, the photos in hand. Nick stood by, his support quiet, the courage shining through, the room still, her scars a strength, the love for her son clear, the moment powerful. Agatha stepped forward, her cane firm, her gaze locked on Victor. Determined. "Accept it," she said, her voice strong, the tension breaking. Irene's dark skin glowed, the courage holding, the challenges met, the estate calming, her role affirmed, the truth standing tall, the day bright with resolve. The nursery grew quiet, Irene's dark skin warm as she held Caleb, a moment of truth settling. "Hopeful. You're my boy," she whispered, her voice soft, the photos nearby. Nick nodded, his presence steady, the truth sinking in, the room peaceful, her heart full, the past healed, a bond restored. The estate's doors opened, Victor's silence heavy, a shift beginning. Thoughtful. "We'll see," he murmured, his tone low, the moment shifting. Irene's dark skin eased, the truth holding, the courage shining, the challenges fading, the night promising answers, the story nearing its peak. Caleb nestled in Irene's arms, his tiny breath steady, while Victor's silence hung in the air, the estate poised for a final twist. Her dark skin glowed with the truth now clear, the night holding its breath. The dining room door burst open, Victor's voice booming as he faced Irene, a shock rippling through. Shouting, "He's your son, taken after your husband's death," he yelled, his tone raw, the table shaking. Irene's dark skin froze, her hands trembling, the shock delivered hard, the room silent, Caleb stirring, the past exploding, her heart stopping, the truth shattering. Agatha stepped forward, her cane firm, her eyes wet with guilt. "Serious. We hid him to protect you," she said, her voice low, the confession spilling. Irene's dark skin paled, the shock sinking deep, the estate buzzing, her lost child returned, the night unraveling, the revelation overwhelming, the moment charged. Irene held Caleb tighter, her dark skin warm as tears fell, love breaking through the shock. "Gentle. My boy," she whispered, her voice soft, the photos near. Victor knelt, his face soft for once, the love proven in his regret, the room quiet, her scars healing, the past's pain fading, the bond growing strong. He spoke, his voice shaky, Agatha nodding beside him. "Ernest. I was wrong to hide this," he murmured, his tone warm, the guilt lifting. Irene's dark skin glowed, the love standing firm, the shock turning to unity, the dining room warming, their hearts aligning, the moment pure with forgiveness. Morning light filled the nursery, Irene's dark skin calm as she rocked Caleb, peace settling over them. "Peaceful. We're home," she said, her voice low, the crib soft. Victor smiled, his eyes clear, the peace arriving like a gentle dawn, the room still, the shock behind, the love secure, the future bright with hope. Agatha sat nearby, her cane resting, her face gentle. "Accepting. You belong here," she said, her tone warm, the family whole. Irene's dark skin eased, the peace growing deep, the estate quiet, the past healed, the bond unbreakable, the Brook Hollow skyline clear, their new life beginning. Days passed, The estate alive with laughter, Irene's dark skin bright as she played with Caleb, a new family forming. "Happy! We're together," she said, her voice light, the room full of toys. Victor joined, his smile rare, the family blossoming, the nursery warm, her scars a story, the love guiding them, the shock a foundation, the future open. They stood on the balcony, the town quiet below, her hand in Victor's. "Content. Always now," he whispered, his tone soft, the sky glowing. Irene smiled, her dark skin radiant, the peace settling deep, the love proven true, the challenges gone, the family strong, the night's revelation a bridge to joy, their bond lasting. Moral lesson. This story shows that love and honesty can overcome even the deepest secrets, creating a family where none seemed possible. What a shocking twist! Did it touch your heart? Like the video, subscribe now, and tell us your feelings below. We can't wait to hear.